Hello YouTube family, welcome to another episode of Pips and Points, and I'm your host today, Jono. And today we're going to be picking up from where we left off, which is the Nas100. And also I'm bringing in another two additional assets to look at as well, two new ones. We haven't talked about these two before, and that will be the US30 and US500. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is that you would have noticed that the chart looks a little bit different from how it looked yesterday. So what I've done is I've gotten rid of all of the trend lines that I had, and was looking a bit too colorful and there was too much going on, and I just needed, guys, to be fair, I did not really need all of that extra stuff going on. So what I've done is I've gotten rid of all of that, and I've just kept it simple. We've just drawn our trend lines, and we're basically just going to follow through that and explain what is happening, what I'll be removing, and what I will be adding in. Okay, so the first thing is with this trend line over here, so this one right here, okay, right, we can see that in this area it's broken this trend line. So in my opinion, this trend line is now invalid, so I'm going to get rid of it. But however, this trend line, this one right here, is still valid. It's still valid until the price action breaks above and ends up in a zone that I'm after, and obviously we're gonna pick some up, right? Okay, so so this trend line is still kind of valid, right? And obviously this zone is still good, and this is where the price action level was. So we had a little block in this area, but as you can see, I've just drawn two little boxes, two little horizontal lines along this zone right here. And I'm gonna look at this little trend line, okay, and this little trend line is looking interesting, so I'm going to obviously bring that in closer, and I'm also going to add another one on top, just to make sure that we've got the zone correct. So this is how more or less it truly looks, right? It truly looks. So I'm just going to bring this down here, and we have a little conversion in this area. It could be something, it could mean nothing, who knows? See what happens. But the good news is, by some sheer miracle of luck, the price action is actually moving in the direction that I did not intend, because like I said, I personally believed it was going to go up. And the structure that we drew before we even got to that level, so let me just zoom all the way in. What are we on now? Yeah, 4 hourly is good. So I just had to double check that. Right, so what I did yesterday, or it could be the day before, because literally we've just been focusing on this, was we drew this trend line over here, right? We drew this trend line over here, and my theory was, right, it was gonna do this. That was what my theory was. It was gonna do something like this, shoot up, right? But however, I put this sell there as, I don't know, it's like I was thinking, hey, listen, I want it to go down. I hope the powers that be, the angels of the markets will push the market down. It looks like they kind of heard my prayers. So it pushed down. So it went up, then broke, and then pushed all the way down. So that is what it's doing right now, okay? And I believe at this point, it's going to head down to the zone that we're after, which is anywhere from between 15, let me actually use this one actually, the process is better. So anywhere from between 1573 to 1550, right? Or it could even go possibly lower down to 1544. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm hoping for, and this is where I plan to jump into the markets and hopefully catch some pips on the upside. So I've had a look at the news to see exactly what's been happening today, and I'm just going to let you know what has been happening. So just bear with me a moment. and I strongly recommend, okay, so for you guys that are interested in trading, I strongly recommend that you get yourself, you get your head around financial news, okay, because it definitely plays a role in what is happening. So although this itself is not exactly forex, but however, if the Federal Reserve says anything about the dollar, anything at all, it has an impact. It can have an impact in regards to the overall direction of the Nas in terms of what it's going to do. So I always recommend like making sure that although the technicals is great, make sure that you know how to navigate yourself around the fundamentals too. Okay, so we had two big news today, right? So the first one was the ADP non-farm employment change, right? And the forecast for that was 405,000, right? So 405k, right? That was the forecast, and what actually came out was good. It was 807k, so 807, okay. And the previous month, so that is December, it was it came in at 505k, right? So if you want to know what the ADP non-farm payroll is, it is the automatic data processing, right? And obviously the data provides a yearly look at employment growth, usually 2 days ahead of the government release of employment data, that is designed to mimic source change series calculation formulas in February 2007, December 2008, and November 2012 to better align with government data. Job creation is an important leading indicator of consumer spending, which accounts for a majority of overall economic activity. Now, bearing in mind, most people shop online, so whatever they were saying here has an impact on this situation right here. But it came out good. But bearing in mind, the actual non-farm payroll is coming out in 2 days' time, and that's on Friday. Okay, so that's going to be on Friday the 7th at around 1:30 p.m. and that will be UK time. Obviously, if you're in another location, then the time zone is going to be slightly different. And also as well, we have the Federal Open Market Committee. They're having a meeting today, and they're having this meeting right now as we speak. So the data hasn't come out on that, but so with the non-farm payroll, the AD, let me make sure I pronounce that right. The ADP non-farm payroll coming out today, plus the federal meeting that's going on right now. Okay, for whatever reason, this particular price action is still moving downwards, which is not a bad thing. I mean, it's a bad thing if obviously you FOMO did and you picked up around the top because you believe it was still going to go up. I mean, if you took that recommendation that I thought was going to happen, you should have gone with what I actually put on the screen, which was the sell order. Okay, and once again, this is not financial advice, this is purely for entertainment purposes. Do your own research before you invest or seek financial advice from a trained professional. Okay, so it's actually pushing down right now, and I think it's actually going to push down to the zone that I mentioned earlier. So the zone of between 1573 and 1550 with a possible low of 1545. But either way, around this location, I'm going to have something in place because I am not missing this again. Like, it's not going to happen again. I'm not going to do that to myself. That was a silly move, so I'm not going to do that to myself. And however way it goes is how it goes. You know what I mean? It's the name of the game. That's what we're in it for. And if you actually look at the RSI, over here, okay, it's actually saying that it's about to go into oversold or undersold. Sorry, undersold, oversold, undersold, oversold, undersold. Right, so it's going into undersold right here. And when it does, it should be somewhere in this region or possibly lower, but we'll figure out when we get there, and that could be, and we could actually get that result by Friday. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. Yeah, so at the moment, as it stands right now, things are going my way, how I wanted it to go, because once again, I don't like to sell the Nas100. I always prefer to buy. So when it goes into a position where it's a sell-off, I usually don't sell. But But however, for the sake of this video, we just done it that way just for entertainment, and lo and behold, it turned out to be a good move. So it's fantastic it's worked out this way. So I'm fairly happy. But however, we're not getting paid. There is no coins going anywhere through this, because this itself is a phantom trade. It is a phantom trade. But however, if you saw it and you liked what I did and you thought, you know what, Jono could be right, you could have obviously done your own research on the back end and then seen if it made sense, and then you could have made a decision on that. Do you know what I mean? So that is what we're here for. You know what I mean? We learn together. We learn together and we just get everything done right. So yeah, so literally that was the situation. And so at the moment it's heading down, and I think we're just gonna leave this to let this do what it's doing. Because there's no point at all. What we're looking for is yet to happen. Let me see if there's another opportunity here where something strange could happen, because I think I've just seen something here. Right, so look, check this out, guys. So right now we have a potential support level right here. It's not a big support level, but however, it's one that I'm still going to mark down anyways. I'm going to mark down. And that's one of the reasons why I actually prefer using these really small lines opposing to the boxes, because it actually is a lot cleaner. It actually is a lot cleaner, and it helps you make better decisions without all these weird colors everywhere. I mean, literally, if I get a double top, I'm going to clear this and I'm going to put something else that looks a bit more respectable. So this level over here, it could bounce from here. Now, let me bring in the fibs. Let me actually bring in the fib. No, we don't want to do that. So let me bring in the fib and see what the recommendation is. Okay. So the fib, anywhere, so from this point to this point, it's a good area to pick up from. And it actually even went as low. So let me just drop this box down here. It actually even went as low as this actually, right? So anywhere between this zone right here, I could potentially think of picking up putting on some buys. So I'm just going to drop a little signal in that area. Let's put a $sign in there. Yeah, so right here we're going to do it. And this area at the bottom right here, this is the liquidity grab. This is the area where you want to be careful, right? Because it could definitely push down and take me out, and only to rise back up again. So ideally, if it does fall and it comes into this little box area right here, how I would kind of want to position my my pending order is always going to be above where price is. So if it comes all the way down, so let's say for example, let's just do it like this. So let's say for example, if it came all the way here like this, right? It came all the way here like this, right? What I'll be thinking of doing is placing my price. So this at the bottom right here is where price is. Wait, let me let's make this thicker. Alright, let's put a little ball at the end. Let's put an arrow at the end, right? Little arrow at the end, and let's come out of this. Right, okay. And then, so when the tip of the arrow is where price is, that's where price is, right? Yeah, hypothetically, where price goes. How I would want to position my trade, right? And bearing in mind this is not financial advice, it's always going to be above it. So when it starts to pull back up again, that is when I hope to catch it. But I will not be doing a market buy because I have no idea how deep this fall is going to be. And if you look at these two areas right here, these are two price action zones, okay? It could push all the way through and poke its head around here somewhere. At which point what I would do is that would then give me the opportunity to literally bring my trailing stop down to the desired level, and also minimizing my risk as well, because the lowest price I could possibly get puts me in a fantastic position, puts myself in a fantastic position, and anyone that can see the play and how I'm seeing it might obviously have a much better view than I have, but for the meantime, this is how I'm seeing it right now. Okay, so we've covered this one right here, so this one looks pretty solid, and we're going to be visiting this in the coming days. In the coming days, we're going to be taking a look to see exactly what's going on, and seeing if we've had Christmas in January, is what I like to call it. So the next step is we are going to look at US30, which is an absolute monster, but I believe some of you guys are interested in that, like you would be interested in that, and so let's talk about it. Let's talk about US30. So US30, from what I'm looking at right now, it's a naked chart. It looks pretty straightforward in regards to what is happening. So just by looking at this chart as it is, without doing any drawings or anything on it right now, I would not take any position right now. The only position that will look good to me right now would be a sell. Anything other than a sell would not look good. Okay, but in saying that, because like the US30, like Nas100, I only prefer to buy. Like me, I like the American economy. I like it when it's doing great. I prefer it when it's going up, and so that is my attitude when I trade the American economy. I always buy the American economy. I don't like selling the American economy. It's just me. I just don't like selling it. I prefer to buy it, right? When it comes to currency pairs, yeah, all day we'll be selling. But when it comes to any US or any UK 100 is one that I would sell, but I don't trade it. I actually don't trade it, not because I don't like it or anything. I don't know. Maybe the hype is all around what's going on in what America has to offer, so I'm more focused on that. And I think that is actually a terrible attitude that I have, because it's kind of biased. So I'm going to look to address that as obviously I continue producing content for you guys to look at. And I might actually look at UK 100 to see if there's an opportunity in there. I mean, I literally live in the UK, so why am I not, taking advantage of what's going on in the UK 100? It's but it's one of these weird little thingamajigs that people do, and I do. So in this situation right now, getting back to it, so escaping the rant and getting back to it, looking at this overall situation right now, I'll be looking for a potential, I'll be waiting for a pullback, okay? And for some people that are looking for opportunity, they will potentially would want to sell, okay? So I get that too. So let's have a look. Let's have a look to see overall what US30 has been doing. Okay, so US30, like I say, man, like USA, you don't go against the United States, man. It's just not a good idea. Look at this. It's where the situation happened. Okay, the situation happened. And I actually called it by its proper name, and I've gone back and cut that bit out. My editing videos is not that great, but I think I can manage slicing the keyword out of there. So we're going to call this area here the situation. So this here is the situation. We all know what the situation was. The situation happened in 2020, right? There's the date, March 16th. Everyone should know that date by now, right? So that's the situation. And from the situation, it's just been going in an uptrend ever since. It's just been going boop one way, right? And you can see the same situation in Nas100, and you can see the same situation possibly, but we're about to find out, in the US500. Basically, you can see this situation in all the markets. In every single market, you go to this particular date, you're going to see this situation, right? So let's get rid of this right now, because we don't need that. Get rid of that, okay? And I think the area that we're going to focus on most, right, because this area right here is something that I want to keep note of, but bearing in mind this was a massive international incident. So because it's a massive international incident, I'm not saying that it could never happen again, but I'm not expecting it price to come down to this level anytime soon. But it could, and if it did, you just pick some up at the bottom, because it's a discount. I mean, this is the US we're talking about. I mean, it's only going to go one way, you know what I mean? So that's my opinion on that. So let's look at where we want to start dissecting this thing from, and I'm going to start dissecting from here, from this particular location right here. Right, so we're going to start dissecting from here. I think this is a fairly respectable level. We're going to try and figure out exactly how we're going to navigate our way around the situation. Okay, so the first thing that we've noticed, the first thing that I've noticed right now, is we have a price action level right here, right? So it's the price action level that flips and flops. So it's the, hence why I prefer calling it price action levels, right? Because at this level right here, this is a small resistance that gets broken, and over here is a support. You see, so rather than confuse the whole thing, price action level, that everyone gets it, you know, it's not confusing, it's super straightforward. Right, so let's get rid of the arrow as well. Let's get rid of the arrow. Cool. Right, so that's the first thing that I've noticed right now, okay? And then this price action level, believe it or not, has also another level inside of it that I would want to respect. So I'm going to stick another one in there. Make sure it's straight. Right, so I'm going to stick another one in there. And then we have another price action level over here, right? Another price action level over here. And my thing is, you always want to know where these levels are. You always want to know where these levels are. And you always want to know where these levels are on a higher time frame. So a daily, 4 hourly, weekly is highly recommended, okay? But when you go down to the hourly and the 30 minutes and the 15 minutes, I tend not to do that at all. I tend not to do that. Just because I find that the information that I'm getting is not entirely accurate. It's not on point. It's just, it does whatever it wants, and then literally that's where like bad things happen. Basically, bad things happen when you get your levels wrong. Do you know what I mean? And I always try to make sure that I try to support my levels with as much data as I possibly can, just to help me gain a better insight in regards to what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Right, so you've got that price action level there, and you're probably wondering, why did I draw it twice? Well, it's just because it's the wicks. They also count too. I always count the wicks in these situations. I count the tip of the body, and then I also count the wicks, just because it also means something. Do you know what I mean? Which basically means that you could end up with a super busy chart, but as long as you know how to look at what you're looking at, okay, things usually tend to work out quite well in your favor. So kind of mapping out the charts in this way, I find it A, therapeutic, and B, super useful in terms of helping me decide what I'm going to decide as we move forward. So we've got the basic price action levels all laid out. Basic price action levels all laid out, right? And we've got another one here. And if you even look at where it kind of intersects, where it crosses over in the charts, it makes sense. Look, it actually crossed over here, it crossed over here. Do you know what I mean? So even if you did this, even if you just covered the top area just to keep it less lines, because I think I'm actually going to be deleting some of these lines that I've done, especially if there's one in the middle. You just keep it as a general area, a general zone, just keep an eye on, right? Okay. yeah, I'm gonna leave that one. So we've got this zone right here, right? We've got this zone right here, and then we have this zone right here. Then we've got this zone right here, and then we have this zone right here. So it's broken this zone to make an all-time high. So because it has actually broken this zone to make an all-time high, and I only want to be buying, I'm gonna have to wait. I can already see here that I'm gonna have to wait, okay? But however, we might be able to spot some opportunities that you guys might want to go and research further before making a decision. Right, so, and now we're gonna start doing all the fun things, the diagonal price action levels. See where this leads to. Now, if you look carefully, you will see that it does something. And in case you can't see it, I'm going to point it out. So this is it, base right here, boom. It crosses that, which means nothing. It crosses that, which means nothing, but it skims this over here. Right here, it skims that. Okay, so let me just put a little box in this little area right here. It skims this little area right here. Right here, right? And then it skims the top of this area also. It skims the top of this area also, right? And it also skims here. So this trend line is not that important, but it's one to keep an eye on, in my opinion. It's one to keep an eye on, right? It's one to keep an eye on, because something could happen on in that zone, on that area. Something could definitely go down, so we keep an eye on it. Hence why I always recommend marking out positions in the chart, and the more you get good at doing stuff like this, right, the less you start to rely on indicators and stuff like that, because you realize that what you're actually eyeballing is way better than what the indicators giving you. Not to say the indicators are bad, because the indicators are good, like don't get it confused. I mean, the indicators do help, like I know they help, so I'm not going to sit and tell you no they don't, but they do. But if not used correctly, it won't help you. So if you don't use the indicators correctly, it will not help you. They're there for a guide, not there to give you like straight information in terms of what is definitely going to happen. No. The indicators are guide. It will guide you to help you figure it out, but it's not going to tell you how to figure it out. And if you rely upon it too much, you could end up getting caught out. And then you'll be screaming it's the broker, but it's not the broker, it's your fault. So let's keep going through. Right. Okay. So this is looking really good. We're looking like we have some kind of direction here as to what is happening with US30. We actually look like we've got some kind of direction. Right, which is a straightforward direction, because like I say, I mean, if you're talking about US indices, I mean, US is performing really well. I mean, we get all the best stuff from there, to be fair. iPhones, you name it, it's coming from the US, so we get all the best stuff from over there. So naturally, everything is going to be looking fantastic. So now look at this. So looking at this now, we can see we have a basic idea as to what is happening, right? And so, for example, the first one we're going to do now is look to see if there is a sell opportunity right now, right? Where it will be recommending the sell. Where it will be recommending the sell. So basically, anywhere from below this level right here. So let me just draw a little box in here. No, I didn't want to do that. So anywhere from between this zone right here, providing it pulls back into the structure, bearing in mind this heading to this zone right here. This is where this is the current trajectory of the price is heading to this area right here, right? this could be this at this level. If it starts to pull back, this would be the perfect place to sell from. Absolute perfect place to sell from. And once again, this is not financial advice. Not financial advice. And the second good place to sell from, this would be this zone right here. This would be this zone right here. But however, if you want to do it like me, which is how I plan on it, if you want to do it like me, like how I would do it, and I know the US30 it's a solid indices, solid. One of the most solid indices out there. It's just that it's hyper volatile, and super expensive. Super expensive, but because it's super expensive, it basically means that rewards are that much better as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's not bad at all. So let's just bring this down a bit. Let's bring this down. So if I was looking for a sell, I mean not sell, sorry, a buy. Where it is right now, it is, I would have to say, I'll be looking for the buy from over here. To be fair, to me, this place looks more realistic. So the buy will be in this location, in my opinion. So the buy will be in this location, right here. And that's what I'll be looking at. But I would have to wait for the pullback. But at this point right now, the only option that I will be considering will be a sell. I would never even contemplate the idea of buying unless if I was doing a minuscule time frame. So if I was doing, say, an hour, I don't even think an hour is good enough. I think we're talking maybe 15 minutes, 5 minutes. I'll be considering buys at this location. So let me just even zoom. No. Selected the wrong tool there, sorry. So let's just go in a bit tighter, right? And let's take this down to say 15 minutes. See, 15 minutes, you could be looking for a buy, right? Which is easy done. You can do it, okay? You can do it. And I'm literally just going to do a little line here, and then I'm going to delete it straight after because I don't want it there. I want to keep the core. So around this level over here, this is where I literally will be considering picking up. I'd be considering picking up, but I would also wait a couple more minutes just to see what comes after this, you know, because for example, it literally could want to come down to this level, at which point I'll be getting a good price. And why I believe I'll be getting a good price, because if I look at the overall trajectory, so if I go into a much higher time frame, actually, to be fair, on a much higher time frame, it's looking more like a sell than anything. Hence why I don't like doing small time frames. It's just hella confusing to figure out what's going on. So yeah, so this is what I'll be looking at, the what I said earlier, which is I'll be looking for the buy around this level, and I'll be looking for the sell at around this level over here. So I'll be looking for a sell around this level. So anywhere around here is where I'll be looking for a sell. Upon confirmation that it's pulling back. So upon confirmation that it's pulling back, that's why I'll be looking for a sell. But either way, I'll have to be super patient, okay? I would have to be super patient before I did anything in regards to that. So that's how more or less I would actually play this situation. Okay, so I hope you guys liked it. All right. What's the next thing we want to talk about? US500. US500. Now this to me is a no-brainer. in terms of what it's currently doing right now, because we can see what it's doing right now. Like literally, it's a no-brainer, and obviously we can see the situation over there, the situation, right? So this over here is a no-brainer. You can literally see it, right? You can literally see how you would move in this situation right now, how you would move. But also, the reason why I prefer US assets is the right ones, and the right ones in my opinion is Nas100, US30, and US500. They're always making you higher highs. So if they're always making you higher highs, it's not really in your interest to be selling it unless if you've got a really good exit strategy. But if you're saying, for example, you're working a 9-to-5 desk job, so you've got your work that you need to do, which is in the office, right, and all the other stuff that you've got to do, then you're looking for positions on levels like this. This is what you're looking for, right? And the price point on the US500 is good. It's fantastic. Everybody likes it. I do, but I just prefer US100 to supposing to US500. It's just my thing. I prefer that. Do you know what I mean? So even if you look at potential pullback levels, which is what I'm doing right now, just trying to get potential pullback levels figured out. You can see that this is a really clean asset. Like US assets are just so clean. They're so clean. They're just clean. Now, if I was to show you the UK 100, that there you need skill for that. That you need absolute major skill for that. So literally, you really need to know what you're doing for that. But this one here is, you don't really have to spend too much time with that at all. Obviously, it has its bad days, so you got to make sure that you cover it. So, because although I'm saying, oh yeah, it can be easy. I mean, if you've been training for any period of time, you know it's anything but easy. You know, it's anything but that. But when you've been doing it for a while, and you kind of know where things are, you can say things, oh yeah, it's straightforward, like yeah, you can do it. But it's not that straightforward. It's not that straightforward, and Lord knows it sure comes with its challenges. You know, it sure comes with its challenges. So what we're doing right now, because obviously I've gone into my little rant again, please forgive me for listening to my rant, but I do hope that it makes the video that bit more entertaining. Okay, so we had the potential double top at this level right here. Potential double top, right? And then we have the all-time high level. And the all-time high level, I'm just going to draw a box around it. So this is the all-time high level that I personally think is going to break. I personally think is going to break this level. But I will only think about grabbing this once it finishes doing whatever it's doing in this little box right here. So whatever this is, whatever's going on here, which is hit a price action level and it's just tracing back, we want to know where this is going to settle at before you even think about doing anything in regards to this. So in my opinion, how I would play this, if I was going to play this, how I would play this is I would do it like this. If I'm selling right now. So I'm selling today. That is exactly what I'm doing. I'm selling today, and for this situation here, I think you can do a price, you can do a market sell, a straight market sell in this situation right now. A straight market sell to catch from here all the way down here, right? So you could do that, but obviously it comes with its risk. And once again, I am not a financial advisor. Do your own research. If in doubt, seek professional help. That's what these guys are paid for, and they're supposed to be good at what they do, which is obviously giving people financial advice. So yeah, so seek one of those people if you're not sure about how to do any of this stuff that I'm talking about, which is purely for educational purposes, because like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. You can so and they will obviously give advice in terms of how they should play it, but always make sure that you find out if they're a millionaire first, though, because that's important. That's important. If you're going to give someone your money to manage it for you, at least they know how to manage their own money. That's important. If you can't manage your money, then what are you doing trying to manage mine? Do you know what I mean? That's my philosophy in life. If you're going to get someone to do the job, make sure they've done it for themselves. If they haven't done it for themselves, then naturally you might want to sit there and do the painstaking work of learning it yourself. Do you know what I mean? And then do it. So at this point, I'll be doing a market sell straight down, and I'll be waiting to make purchases from this level up. So let's bring in my trusted fib. I sure do love the fib. I love the fib. Like literally, this is one of the best tools in the game. So I'll be picking up buying from 45.89. That will be between 45 and lower. That will be the sweet spot for me. So I'm gonna draw a little box in this area right here, just a nice little box. And we're gonna put the dollar sign in there, because who don't love dollars, huh? Who don't love dollars? So we're gonna put dollars in a nice little dollar sign in here. If I was to pick up, it would be in that zone. So guys, that is the technicals for today, basically, in a nutshell. That is the oh wait, before we go, and if I was selling, I would have sold already. And yep, I would have sold already, or I would have just acknowledged the fact that I've missed the situation, and I would wait. But yeah, so let's actually go in a little bit deeper before I even close this situation off. So let's have a look to see if there's any kind of telltale signs. There is, but it's missed, and it's very easy to do things in hindsight. So what I would say is, yeah, this is doing whatever it is that it's doing, and we're going to wait to see where it settles before you make a decision. But anything is selling from this level and downwards, right? And we're buying from, we're looking at the opposite, unless if it breaks the structure over here. So guys, once again, I really want to thank you, and I appreciate you all for coming over for another video where we talk about obviously the markets, the assets that can help us, each and every single one of us, make changes in our little day-to-day lives to in some way, shape or form. Sometimes it could be by a big degree, sometimes by a small degree, but either way is educational. Do you know what I mean? So I'm glad you guys came along. I really appreciate you all for coming along. I want to give a big shout out to all of my subscribers. Thank you for supporting the channel, coming onto the channel, subscribing, hitting the like buttons, all the awesome stuff that you do. I appreciate you all for doing it. I also want to thank the new guys that are coming over that will be subscribing. I appreciate you all also. Okay, so thank you very much for coming on board. And I also appreciate the guys that are just watching, they're just taking the information, and for whatever reason they don't hit the subscribe button and they don't hit the like button. But I know you watched it. Okay, so if the video had any information in there that you found valuable, just hit the like button if you don't want to subscribe. And if you do subscribe, thank you, because literally I'm going to be part of the library of educational information that you're going to have, that you're going to look at. And it's coming from a genuine place. Like literally, it's coming from a very genuine place in regards to sharing this information with you, because we're all at different stages as we try to understand the markets. And some people are brand new. Okay, some people are brand new and they've gone to all different types of brokers that haven't really had the best interests in mind. And they're literally, you could be one of these people that could be just on the verge of giving up on this opportunity of learning how to do things like this for yourself, right? And I hope that this video would have changed your mind. Like there are situations where things will happen and you take a big hit, but it's part of the game. And once you pick up the battle scars, is what I like to call it, you're gonna find it that it's a lot more easier to navigate in this world than you thought it was, right? So however hard you think it is right now, it will actually get easier, and it will only get easier once you begin to understand how all of this works. So I want to say a big shout out to you guys as well, okay? And everybody had to start from somewhere, right? And even if you're at level 1, thank you for starting, because it's going to work out in your favor, and the skills you learn here are transferable onto all number of asset classes. So it can be transferred onto cryptos, it can be transferred onto stocks, it can be transferred to precious metals, it can be transferred across. And bearing in mind, what I'm sharing with you, it's not the be all end all of being able to navigate in the markets. It's not that. That's not what this is. This is a part. This is a very small part of a very big puzzle. And what you're doing right now is you're creating your own masterpiece, and you're going to be going to different people to give you different sets of information that you're going to piece together to come up with your own unique flavor. And your unique flavor is what's going to make you a winner in this game, and you will eventually become a winner in this game. But just don't give up. The only way you win is by going through the process, right? It's by going through the process, and the process sometimes can be a bit bitter, but in the end you'll be victorious. So this is just my little final words of encouragement for if there are any guys out there that are struggling, not having a good time. I mean, as I'm saying, I want markets to pull back. It could be you that could be suffering reds right now. Do you know what I mean? So I'm mindful of that, and like I say, I appreciate you all. I really do. And I want you guys to share my videos, subscribe to my videos, post a comment on my videos, like my videos, good or bad. Just interact with me, please do. All right. So thank you very much. I appreciate you all, and I will I will be seeing you in the next video tomorrow. So guys, have a good day.